Like, so you can see this Gumroad landing page, right? So here I am selling my Apollo scraper tool, my new
Nice.
version, which is a SaaS version. So you can subscribe to this scraper tool. I also include 1 week free trial. So you can use the tool completely free for 1 week. I like this feature here. So if you subscribe, you will pay zero dollars, right?
Nice.
Because you have 1 week free trial. But after that week, if you continue with the tool, you will be charged $9. Or you can cancel the subscription. That's fine also. Let me show you the email that you will receive once you. So the email that you receive will be something like this,
Mhm.
right? You will receive a license
License
key.
key. Yeah.
Yeah. So this license key activates the product.
So you
So
provide that license key.
what you have to put that option in Gumroad. So you need to activate that in Gumroad.
Like, how do you generate that license key?
In Gumroad, I can show you, there is like a button. So you have to go to the Chrome extension. There's like a button here that says put your license key, right? So you
Mhm,
can copy paste. If I would put like a wrong license key, right? I would put
mhm.
something here that is wrong. And if I click, it will give me the license key
Nice.
is invalid. So if you want to execute the program correctly,
You
you
need a
need
unique
to
license key.
now it has to work. Yeah, it is working, right? Because the license key is a valid one. But once you cancel the license key, you will receive a message that says, "Hey, your license key is canceled, or you need to pay
Mhm,
the membership." Right? And this is really good because you can try the product for free, or you can put one week, 1 month, whatever you want. You can also create like multiple plans. Like you can create like a multi plan, like a yearly, 1 plan per year, or whatever, every 6 months. This is totally you can customize this on your needs, right? So you will receive your license key. Actually, here you can your license key. This is just a sample, right?
yeah.
Right? And here is the Apollo scraper tool. So yeah, like I love this approach because like in the past I tested many other approaches, and to be honest, there were some like issues with those approaches. I tested, for example, like a tool called Browser Build, another one called Extension Pay. But to be honest, I prefer this method. I am really happy with this method because basically Gumroad provides everything. The license key, they provide the plans, they provide the free trial. They can even promote your software. And this is also like really user friendly, right? Very user
Yeah.
friendly. And other thing that I like about this is that you can obfuscate your code.
Sorry, I just have a quick question. So when somebody comes and they download this, do they get it within a do you send them a file or do they go to the Chrome store to download it or to install it?
They receive the file. They
Okay.
receive the file, the code.
So you have
Or the,
control.
yeah, I have control over this.
So you're not at the mercy of the Chrome store.
No, I am not at the mercy of them.
Nice.
And like one thing that I like about this is that you can obfuscate your code.
They might flag an issue for that.
They will give you like a red flag. Hey, why are you obfuscating your code? But here you can your code like really you have full
Yeah.
control of code, of your plans, of your users,
Yeah.
everything. The only thing is that you have to provide the license key, and yeah, that's everything. So
And Gumroad will process the payment every month. And so
every month.
that license key, is that a key that changes for every purchase?
Yep,
And so every time that is generated, are you automatically updating it in your own database or like how does that work with like making sure you have the same license keys that you're checking against?
yeah, there is an API.
Okay,
Gumroad, there is an
so
API.
Gumroad provides the API?
Yep,
Okay, nice.
yep. So they have the database, they have everything.
Nice. Nice. That's a really actually cool way to get the payment system going. And
Yep,
then Gumroad is a good place to put it because you get the exposure of the Chrome store, but without the limitations of it. Right, because
exactly.
the Chrome store gives you the place to exist, but it comes with a lot of restrictions and requirements. Gumroad just lets you put it up for sale, and then they get out of your hair.
You have full control of your
Yeah.
code. I got my first subscriber 2 days ago. He is using the free trial right now. Hopefully, he will subscribe by the end of the free trial. Let me just show you so you can see what's happened if you cancel the license, right? So, for example, here the license is working fine. You can execute the code, it's working. But if I cancel the license, let me just go to my Gmail. So I will cancel this license. So we just go to membership, right? I will click manage, right? They can put only higher, right? They can put
Okay.
zero, right?
They can't put 8.
Because
9 and up is fair.
I will put nine, but yeah, this update basically to change. If I have different tiers here, or if
Mm,
you want to pay me more money, you can
nice,
update the membership. But no, I want to show the cancel one. You
nice.
can cancel the membership, right? You can click it. No, I click cancel. I think it's cancel. Yeah, I should receive like an email. I say just you get like this email you have canceled. And when you want to use the application again, for example, here I will just run the application. Yeah, it's not paid or trial has ended. You can see that right here. So yeah, because it's canceled, right? It is canceled. So yeah. And also if they don't pay, they will receive this message also. Yeah.
Nice. That's really cool. It's actually a really cool way to see how you can monetize a Chrome extension because I know it's not the most straightforward thing. How did you come up with this?
Yeah, it was just this was not easy for me. Actually, it took me like 1 week to discover this
Yeah,
because in the past I tried other approaches and I tried
there's a lot.
monetizations. You can use
Not all of
browser
them are
view,
great.
extension pay, but it's just a pain in the neck, really. I mean, you
There's a lot of
depend.
questions over do you process the payment yourself? Is
Yeah,
it your own account? I like
yeah.
this way because then you have Gumroad doing a lot of
All the heavy lifting,
the
right?
heavy lifting and then giving you the license key, and then all you have to worry about is just implementing a license key check. And yeah,
Yep.
like it really
Also,
minimizes the stuff you have to worry about.
yep.
And Gumroad gives you a place to exist, which is great.
Your
Yes,
code.
and that's the really big thing too, is it solves that other problem of,
Yeah, yeah. I think
you know,
it's really good. And also, it's adaptable because you can use this method with other solutions. Like, for example, with Google Sheets scripts, you can do the same. You can put a license key in the menu, and you also provide like a free trial for 1 month, whatever. So this is like an approach that is not only for Chrome extensions, but also for other type of software. So yeah, I think it's very user friendly, right? Overall, it's a good acquisition that I'm laying here. I like it. I like. It.
nice.
Yeah, I just want to share that with you guys. I think this is a really good discovery that I made.
Yeah, it's a good system for
Uh,
being able to monetize.
Actually, this is like a secret, right? Like really, please share this with everyone because I think this method needs more exposure, right? Because
Yeah, because especially like right here, what you're showing is the problem is like because if you put it here, you could get it rejected.
yeah, I got this rejected because
Yeah.
I tried to obfuscate my code, and that's I don't want to share my code. I want just to have the idea. And I got an email saying, "Hey,
What did your obfuscated code look like? Was it totally incomprehensible?
yeah, exactly. Let me just show you the reaction that I got from Chrome. I think I got a message. Yeah, I am not able to find the reaction. I also tried to use the extension. It's called XPay.
Okay.
Show you this one, XPay, which is like an extension to monetize Chrome extensions, right? But to be honest, it was difficult. I need to read the documentation. I found some bugs there, some like issues. So I prefer using Gumroad. Really, when you try to understand these extensions, it takes time. It took me like, I am not lying, it took me like 3 days just to understand what is
Yeah.
happening. Even though they say it takes a few time, it's not. It takes time to understand how this works. So yeah, I think using Gumroad is very user friendly.
Nice,
Right?
nice.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree. The combination of the obfuscation and that license key, that's really cool. Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. And also I put my scraper in Road Hunt. Right.
How's
That
that been
too.
going with Product Hunt?
More or less, I just got six. And I think that these persons, they want to sell me something. They want to, yeah,
Oh, it's
suspicious. Yeah. But like,
I get
yeah.
emails too from like people from even because I have a few GPTs up on
Mhm.
like the OpenAI GPT store, and I don't know how, but they'll email me and be like, "Hey, I saw your GPT on the GPT store. Have you ever thought about monetizing it?"
I wanted to show you that. I think it's very relevant for us because you can monetize whatever you want, not only Chrome extensions, but you can put any type of code that you want, right?
I'm gonna see if I can turn that into a short video.
If,
Wouldn't that be the easiest way to make content?
even your code that you're selling, I think could be, right, that you can use to monetize your boilerplate.
Even with
Something.
that, I'm just happy to give it away for free right now because that's good. People have really been engaging with the group a lot now. I have people applying every day. Every time I look at the group, it's like a new person applying. So I think I made the right choice with giving it away for free because that in itself, there's a lot of value in that. It also simplified things too. Like it's a lot off my mind. I kept thinking like, what am I going to charge for it and all this stuff. Just let go of all of that. It takes a lot of worry off my mind. I can just focus on just making it better and better. And I don't have to worry about really anything because it's free. Everyone's happy that way, it seems. So, yeah, it's good. And I locked it behind level 2, obviously, so a person can only you have to make 5 posts in the group or whatever.
The community is called no code community, but still the focus is very much on the WWX stack, isn't it?
Honestly, not really, because I find myself talking about anything to do with anything low code. So even edit end to me, that's low code.
Yeah, by the way, thank you for mentioning me because I was not frequently looking into the
Yeah, no
community.
worries. If you're okay with that, I'd be happy to tag you in that stuff whenever it comes up. Like a
Oh,
lot of
is
people
it?
who come to the page because I asked them like, where did you find this? And a lot of people tell me they were searching Google. And I make the group completely public and free, so every single page ranks for SEO. Because of the Discord, it's never gonna obviously rank.
There is no
There's no
SEO
such
on
thing.
there.
Yeah.
But I don't like about Discord and Slack communities that you have to enter before you can even see anything.
Yeah,
Like they have to.
this is open completely.
I mean, Reddit, you can just access. There is no
Yes.
barrier or something. You don't have to set. And even worse, what about Discord? I don't know where to find these communities. You have to put it on Google search, and then
Yeah.
if you're lucky, you come up with a link, and then you click on it, and then you're curious what's behind that link.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't really get the feeling that they're real people sometimes because I think like the way that you play like on Xbox Live or something, like but that's how I perceive the environment there almost.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
also
it's
still
different.
feels weird to add a potential client or whatever as friend
Yeah,
on.
when I go on Discord, I put a picture of myself and you have to look for those communities where they go that little bit extra, I think, to establish trust, to show you, it's like, yeah, it's Discord, but like we are real people with other social profiles.
Also, the usernames are always like when I reach out to people, I don't know who that is, and then
I know,
mostly
like
mostly when they reply, they still don't say their name, and then I ask the second time, "What's your name, buddy?" or something. That's so weird. I don't know.
one guy messages me off Discord and he books a call on like Christmas Eve, and his picture is like all his military pictures and like his even like his tag or like he has all this stuff all about the military and like guns. I'm thinking, shit, I don't know who I'm meeting. And then it's some 17-year-old from like Poland when I actually show up and I meet the guy. And this his Call of Duty profile that he uses on the side or something. So
Oh yeah,
not a decorated veteran at all. So yeah, this is what throws me off sometimes because like people use it for gaming and stuff. I'm like, who is this guy? No, he's not the colonel. He's just some kid.
yeah, good.
Yeah, but I think yeah, it's not bad. The community's growing. Yeah. But Mario, how's everything going with you?
Yeah, content creation, right?
Yes.
I That's where I get stuck a bit at the moment. I am that kind of person who needs a purpose to build things. So I don't just, because there are so many people out there just building repeat workflows. So everybody does the same, like how to do LinkedIn marketing more easily or whatever. I'm tired of that. I don't want to do just some content. I want to do quality content. That's my main concern. And yeah, I'm currently looking. I have some ideas right now. It took me a bit to get there.
Are you like sharing workflows that you personally use, or do you find yourself theorizing and then creating a like a theoretical workflow?
That's the point. That's what I want to avoid, the second case. So I want to have something that I need myself as well, because then I definitely have a motivation and it also
Have
lines
a
up
use
with my. It
you
has a
as a person.
purpose, that's the point, yeah. It has a purpose for me, and I also show what I sell or what I'm standing behind of, and all these things. So, Yeah, ideas at the moment are it's always about productivity. That's what I found lately. That's just my main concern. So I want to stick with that, and I want to
Have you
that's
think what's on your mind? I'd be curious to think or hear.
yeah, sure. There are issues I personally also have. It's has mostly to do with Notion actually. It's my daily tool. And for example, turning emails into tasks. That's something completely missing of that. In Asana there is this feature, but Notion
Yeah,
doesn't have it. So that would be, for example, one thing I could automate, like
that'd
building
be a
a
great thing to
virtual.
automate.
Yeah, I know. And there are already approaches out there, but they cost money. And then you're limited to Chrome. And I also want to use it on a mobile phone. So that's why this is not a solution for me. And also on my iPhone, I use Safari instead because it feels more intuitive than Chrome on there. So Chrome extension is not an option for me. Multi-platform solution I want to build. Also integrations into Outlook or something wouldn't be an option because then I'm stuck with Outlook. Idea is to do email forwarding to a specific email address, and then automation gets triggered and that gets processed. And I or even think about enhancing the content using AI because N8N is great at that. So there is LangChain and everything built into N8N already. The idea is to enhance the title, make a meaningful title of that email because it's a task, not an email anymore. Maybe summarize the content and then put down below still the original message. So if I need to look at it, I have the message or maybe a link even back to the email if a platform allows it. That's the idea.
Would that apply to every email that comes in, or would it only be specific?
No, everything just what I think I want to turn into a test, and I can just forward it to one specific email address, which is into my
Okay.
favorites, so I can find it within typing two letters, and then it would be processed in the backend automatically.
Would it be possible that after it turns into a task that then there would be further automation? If someone said, if it was like you were supposed to respond to something, you could take the context of the email and then it turns into a task, and then because it's a task, it automatically analyzes the content of the email and then summarizes, creates a response, maybe?
Oh yeah, I got it. So without me even have to think about creating a
Yeah.
task of it, right? You mean?
By the time you come in, there's already a draft and an outline already made for you.
And I know a guy who has also a YouTube channel who already implemented this.
Okay.
So it's a bit different. You have to put a label on it or something to
But still,
work.
this is like within context of coming from email, Notion, it'll get a draft potentially. To me, that would help get my brain going, at least maybe on things that like you want to get started on them, but they always they're just stuck at zero. But instead, you can just come in and there's already something there. Just thinking.
You mean the draft, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like I said, this workflow already exists, so I don't want to compete with that guy. Doesn't make sense. But yeah, maybe the connection to Notion that could make a difference or more. So it goes automatically. So I don't have to decide that's a task, but instead the AI decides that's a task. That could be an on.
It could. Yeah. It would analyze and see if there's something there for you to even do. And then it would flag
Exactly.
if
And then that would automatically create it. Yeah, that's a good idea. I would still start with the forwarding stuff because it's first I need it anyways somehow, maybe parts of it, and
is
it's
it
easier
possible to do
to.
that in Notion anyways? If you want to drag and let's say I had a sheet and I want to drag and drop it and get it automatically processed, like that's doable, I guess, already, right? Let's say I have a Notion document and it's just a bunch of text, like it's an unedited transcript of a conversation.
Mhm.
And so if I took that whole, let's say, block, like that's how they show them in Notion, just like whatever represents that file as a block, and can I drag and drop it into somewhere like another column or something, and then have it just go through an automatic process from there where it gets sent to the right people or it's summarized or something happens to it so that it's processed. And I'm just imagining almost like a mailroom, like a document processing and cleaning up type of thing. As I'm finishing meetings, I'm dropping off this stuff. It's going off to the right people. It's summarizing.
No, unfortunately, Notion itself, you do not have elements to interact with drag and drop that easily because you have to stay within the type. So you can drag tasks between views.
Mhm.
That's something, but within the page, you're quite limited. You could implement a button, and if
Button,
you
yeah,
click on it,
that runs the
something
automation.
happens, and then it can trigger that. That's by the way also something built last time with webhooks for Notion, which goes for efficient polling, and that enables to trigger external actions because that's also something Notion does not offer natively. And since I now have that, there is a trick how you can use a button to change a property, and that property change could trigger an external action. That's also maybe worth mentioning. So that was one idea. Then other one would be because events, so calendar events and notes, that's something, yeah, or meeting notes and agendas and all that. That's a big issue for me and was also in the past. And that's where I came up with the idea, why not sync events like as objects into a project management tool? Could be Notion, could be Asana or other ones. And
Well,
then you can have a chance to connect notes to that.
when I think of a problem, definitely one thing that comes to mind, I think of meeting notes and all that stuff. I don't think that this whole thing of how you ever have these autopilots all join and Firefly and I have 5 or 6 of them sometimes wanting to join every Zoom meeting, every Google meeting. I don't think that's a great solution. I think that so what you're making me think of is maybe there's a problem there that could be solved with the technology that you're talking about. I find myself battling with that.
Were you saying that would be a great solution? If you're on a team and using the same project management tool, you could also give it on the event, which you pull it into the project
Mm,
management system. You could automatically add to that new object, which could be a task or hopefully a node object if you have it in that tool, and automatically add the participants
mhm.
as collaborators on that node. And then they are also referenced there and they don't have to search for it. There is just a connection between a discussion or notes or whatever and the event itself. That's what's missing.
Yeah, and then I'm thinking Notion can provide that connection, right? For example, here, let's say you can see my screen now, right?
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, this is office hours, right? And now I'm in
Mhm.
Notion, and now I can choose a document to. So
Wait a
it's
second. It says Notion calendar?
Notion Calendar is still a pain in the ass with some stuff because it's not actually fully integrated with Notion. It's like a separate application entirely. It doesn't like you can't take this calendar and just see it in Notion, regular Notion. It's only going to be here. But from here, you can look at your Notion documents and associate them with events. Let's say today we have a meeting or something, and I have a file. Let's say I called it management call or meeting with Annoy.
Mhm.
And I've actually never done this before. So I'm assuming that when I save this event, that now everybody who is invited to it, which in this case is it's no one because it's just on my calendar, but I think this would be accessible then to everyone. And then I could come like a non-intrusive way to distribute the notes after a meeting that actually makes sense like chronologically. I can go back and see, okay, here's notes for
Yeah.
every meeting.
That's where I got inspired by this issue. Even if I had that problem before, my solution back then was to replicate the event manually in the project management tool and then invite
At
everybody.
least with this, because a lot of people use like this already integrates with Google.
And there it stops. That's the problem with Notion Calendar. You have only the chance to integrate with Google Calendar. That's all.
True.
I
Yeah.
have like an Exchange server. I can't use Notion Calendar. Like my private stuff is on Google, yes, but my work stuff is not. And many companies are using
Because this
Microsoft
is quite
solutions.
good. Even if
It
I
is
want to
not
share my
bad, but
ability with
there's a
nice.
lot of, yeah. That one is also
Hey, look
cool,
at
but
that.
that you could also replicate with cal.com. Cal.com is free.
Okay, that's cool. Cal? C-A-L?
Yeah, exactly.
What
So
a name.
not the Calendly because Calendly is expensive. And this one you can host
How
yourself
can
for
they
free as
have
well.
this domain? That's an incredible domain.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like that's ridiculous.
And for individual use, so if you're not on a team, it's for free.
Huh.
Has all the features you can connect with.
Everything. But it has the
It's
branding, right? Probably. That's okay.
yeah, it has. But yeah, cool. If you use the feature from Google, it is way more limited and it also has a branding. So
That's cool. I'm gonna
um
check. I'm gonna actually.
and I don't know, if you host it yourself, maybe you have the possibility to even white label it. Maybe check it out.
Yeah,
But then of course you have to deal with everything like the API keys and all that could be difficult just to have it for yourself.
that's
If
really
it's in a team, then it makes a difference. Yeah, I'm using that for half a year now or something. That's really great. And it has even a free video call platform integrated into that. So if you're
nice. Call
not
video.
using, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's really cool.
Like currently, it's very expensive, right?
That's why. Yeah. And
Calendly
this is
is very
completely
expensive,
for
isn't it?
free
It's
and
kind of
in the
expensive
cloud.
too.
So if you're a solopreneur, you stay there.
Okay, cool.
And if you're a team, I think if you host yourself, then you can also get it for just the hosting pricing and of course the setup fee, which you have to calculate internally.
oh, I see. So you have the option to host it for yourself completely as a team?
There is somewhere a GitHub link here, at the top or at the bottom.
I should bought it. Get
GitHub, yeah, there is.
wow, what the hell?
Yeah, that I don't know if it's what license is that? Like MIT or there, view license on the right side below README. The second, yeah, a little bit
I
further up. Yeah, there. What is that? Ah, yeah, GNU or however you call that. So it's if you modify, you have to make it publicly available.
mm,
But
this
yeah,
is the
if you don't
source code.
modify it,
Wow. I like this a lot. The idea of just in general, they're giving just more open software. It's nice.
about fair code license.
I like the idea of
Um,
one-time payments for stuff. Like just in
yeah,
general,
that
there's
should
one
come back
called
more.
once.com, I think is by these guys that at 37 signals, they make Campfire, they made Basecamp.
There, that's where I stole my license for my paid product.
Really?
Yeah, which I sell on Gumroad because another guy was also inspired by this license. I just changed like 2 or 3 words and then I used this.
This is a philosophy that just I think it's right, where it's get back to paying for things one time. These guys, for example, they have this software called Writebook. It's free, actually. It's completely free. And I downloaded it because it's free, but you can host it on your own server. And what it lets you do is it just lets you publish really easily to the internet, like publish books
Cool.
and stuff. And it formats it beautifully like this. So it's really easy to make books. And this is what it looks like at the end. So this actually looks nicer than even a Notion document. Like some people, they might use this even to create like internal resources. So instead of using Notion, which honestly Notion looks ugly to be honest compared to
Yeah,
this, like
absolutely.
and this is more professional, for example, and this is totally free. You never ever have to pay for this, and you just completely host it, and you have all the source code. Everything is yours. Their future products won't be free too, but the idea is that there'll be a one-time fee where you pay and you get the whole thing, and you also get support for a version that's like everything up to 1.xx or something. Like everything in version 1 you'll get updates for.
They have other products as well.
This is supposed to replace Slack. So you pay one time and you basically get an internal messaging system because the whole idea is like, why do you need to pay a month per seat? Or like,
That's horrific. But what
yeah,
about Mattermost? That is called the alternative to like it's all open source completely for free. That's could be a
Teams, right?
replacement. Sorry?
Mattermost is like Teams in Microsoft is for
Yeah, Teams, Slack.
I
I
don't know
think it's
much about
everywhere
this,
is somehow the
but
same.
honestly, I don't know too much. I don't know anything about Mattermost, to be honest. But I know that the idea is that it's totally yours.
Mattermost is you can host it yourself. It's open source.
So that
And you know
you
what the
get
greatest part is about? You have a native mobile app. I was searching 1 year ago for different tools, and my major like mobile first, or at least not mobile first, but also mobile compatible, like fully responsive and what is it, native. That was my requirement. And there are many other apps which immediately fall out that
like
category.
I think that one of the things is that this looks a lot like Slack, which is good. I'm curious. I want to see if there's actually a mobile option, like you mentioned.
Could be
happens, turn off notifications completely, hide the room from your sidebar.
because using it just on a mobile browser, I would, yeah, that's for me not an option. Oh, maybe a PWA.
Yeah, exactly.
But unfortunately, iOS dropped the support for notifications on PWAs again. There was their ecosystem, that thing.
I think this is cool though, like a
Uh,
step in the right direction for one.
but it costs you
Uh,
$300. The other one is completely for free.
the other one, I would have to really look and see the
Yeah,
comparison between the both. I think that
or
this
easy
is
to use.
completely. I'm not sure. This seems like if you pay, you get certain features, but like you're saying, you can download the source code for this too. I guess is what.
And then you host it on Docker or whatever
True.
infrastructure you have.
No, I don't actually.
Celestio is like a management platform, fully managed DevOps platform, where you just click the application you want and it sets it up for you within
Nice.
1 minute or something. And then you only pay for hosting
Setting
and
up
a bit
the
of fee for the management. And that's how for N8N, the
yeah.
lowest option works. It's just $10 a month.
Nice.
Whereas the cloud version of N8N starts at $20 a month and you have
Mhm.
limited executions. And here, yeah, whatever you want. So it's especially interesting for use cases where you have a client and he needs to host like a service because the license doesn't allow it otherwise. For example, N8N again, you are not allowed to host N8N for another client because they have a very complicated license. It's a fair code license, but still,
I remember you
yeah,
mentioning something like that where you're not allowed to offer the services around it, but not necessarily the actual digital service itself.
yeah, exactly. So I'm unfortunately also not allowed to build a service with using N8N and then having that as in the backend to automatically getting replicated, duplicated, and set up for different clients. So I cannot build a SaaS
Yeah.
platform with it. Yeah. But this would solve the issue for me at least, and it also be a good solution to start. At least if you're not too deep into or something, that's a really great choice. Because all other alternatives like is it called Railway or something or Rail dot there you have to set up domains and everything. It takes you ages to even if it's built pretty easily, you have to do everything by yourself. So you have to be somewhere in server management or something. The knowledge has to be there. And here you need absolutely no knowledge. Just put the credit card information,
Hmm.
choose the app,
Nice.
and then use the link. That's all.
I'm gonna check it out. Elastio.
I like the name. Sounds like Elasticsearch, right?
Elast.io.
Yeah.
So,
They called it LSTO, but of course the domain name
Yes.
is
Mhm.
split.
That's really cool.
name files. So what's your plan? Are you continue with the content creation?
Yeah,
That,
that's the only option I see at the moment because I thought about marketing strategies. Cold messaging is absolutely nothing for me. Also, just starting from the standpoint that when I get those messages, I 100% I ignore them because they're not something I want. Then I think last time I told you guys about that warm outreach approach still is not my preferred way. Yeah, and then I still have to that's what Robert, you also said, I'm in a different position. I have to still convince the client. So that's I think the securest way is somehow to already show and educate again what Robert you keep constantly saying.
You have gold, but you also have a hell of a challenge in front of you, right? Like you have something great, but you got to make them realize it
So the hard work is right now.
because you just want to be demonstrating your expertise and showing that these things can lead to like real tangible solutions and improvements to people's lives. And the proof will just be in literally just showing them that this works. Here it is. It's take it or leave it, but it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't put the pressure on the client. So because when I talk to someone in person first, the audience is just one. So it's
Mhm.
just get heard by one people. And
There's
on the other
attention.
hand, if there is a content, it's just passive consuming. And like for me myself, I also chose things around my life through digging into content. And then first time maybe I said, no, it's nothing for me. And then I don't know, half a year later, I saw that content again. I was like, oh, okay, maybe I overlooked something and it's great actually. Maybe I should dig
Yeah.
deep into it. And then I bought something. So yeah,
And
that's what
because
I'm
you
talking
closed
about. So
yourself, you were ready to buy. And I think that if you set up a situation where people can come to you and they're aware of you and they come when they're ready, then you don't have to put yourself in a situation where you feel that pressure of trying to convince someone to do something a little sooner than they want to, or have to negotiate or anything like that.
yeah.
They came to you, right? They raised their
Yeah.
hand up and said, "Hey, Mario, I'm ready to buy. And I've been watching your content in secret for a year, but you never knew that. But now they walked themselves all the way up to being ready to pay." And so that's a much more enjoyable conversation. Those are the best conversations to have with
Yeah.
clients. They're just ready.
And
Like really big agencies, when they stop doing the pull strategy, when they completely stop that wheel from moving, and they suffer. Even if they're really big and they have all their email campaigns running, like I had one person I know who stopped doing his office hours. He stopped reaching out to people. He didn't notice it for a while, but then 3, 4 months later, when he stopped sowing all of those seeds and he needed new business, he noticed that because he stopped doing those little things, he stopped showing up and talking, that there was nothing for him. He had to push that wheel again.
the seeds are part of the pull strategy, aren't it?
Yes,
And
exactly.
like I was talking about trying to eliminate the push strategy because it's not a part of me. It's not how I am.
Yeah.
mathematics, right?
Yes, the law of numbers, right? It's just if you're gonna
That's it.
eventually do enough of them, then you're gonna get a certain amount of success. But I think the results for that are gonna get worse and worse over time. It's gonna take more emails and more. I think 10 years ago, it took less emails to get the same amount of responses you would hope to get today.
And it's somehow still spam, isn't it?
Oh yeah. And I think it's worse than
And
it's
I hate
worse for
spam. That's where my mindset comes from. So I don't want to do it like everybody else does somehow. So I know it's the harder route maybe to
I mean, I've
go for
seen
this
very
passive
interesting.
content.
How do you get attention, or like how do you even open the conversation? I've seen what one guy does is he has in his basement, they're like robots almost. I guess you call them robots, but each little robot arm has a pen, and he has them all
Mhm.
set up so that they're writing. They look like handwritten letters.
Yeah.
Robots writing them. So he just standing there in his basement, surrounded by all these little robots. And yeah, this way we can get 10 letters out every hour. And because that's his whole thing is they're not doing cold email anymore. They're doing handwritten letters. Okay, since everybody's emailing, what do? You go back to paper. And what else did they get? A stress ball, something big and squishy. What do they call it? Chunky mail or something? Because it's impossible to ignore. If I send you a letter
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
and there's a big squishy thing in it, 100% you're going to open it. This
But
is what
again,
they're
what
doing
is
now.
the intention behind it?
Intention is literally so that I got your attention, so that I didn't end
That's
up
it. But
in a
that's
spam
all.
box.
Then
That's it.
maybe you're disappointed because there is just a squishy ball inside and
Well,
nothing more.
it depends on what I'm selling. I mean, if I was a marketing company and you're looking for a
Yeah.
marketer and you got a squishy ball in the mail, you might be impressed. You know, depends. It depends on what the context is. But
Depends. Someone I know also had the exact same idea. Maybe he just copied it as well. Like to write personalized letters. His idea was to rebuild like a 3D printer, which has then a pen inside, and then it writes for you the text. But even worse, which where I did not want to follow that the letters, like the text itself, is written by AI. So of course, many people who open this letter see that is, wow, somebody wrote me a handwritten letter. That's something catches my attention.
yeah,
But what is inside? That's just a text, like not even a human wrote. So it's for me like just a bubble filled with hot air. So it's not
yeah.
real.
I would think that if we're going this far, like I think that the people would be high value enough that probably they'd be a little bit customized to each one in terms of the content of each letter.
Yeah, but I think it's still tricking the people because you have
Oh,
just
of course, it's
some
all a trick.
strategy. Yeah, and that's it.
For sure, the person is not expecting that there's a guy out there with a basement full of robots that are writing these letters. There's
That's yeah,
certainly a certain perception that you're trying to make it seem like it's personal when it's really not.
yeah.
And that's advertising because that's the game of that. Maybe that's it comes down to you make a choice, right? If you want to advertise that way. Actually, I don't. But I think maybe then that's also just a choice of how a person wants to live. And if you invest in that, then you're going to get better in that. And you're going to get really good at mastering all the strategies versus there's other strategies like maybe building a community or something like that. And if you do that for a while, you'll get really good at that too. Just depends on whichever one a person wants to invest their time. Like what grass do you want to water? So that
And then maybe the time spent comes in again because maybe these strategies with the AI and handwritten stuff, maybe that will get you faster to success. If you build a community, you have maybe a long run
if you
because you're building trust. It's something with a solid foundation.
Create everything from scratch. Like there are many paths. One path that you discussed, Robert and Mario,
Mhm.
was that you can start with the community. From there, you can build product or a service, and you will just you have your fans. They will buy
That's just
your
they'll
product because
help
they
you
know
give us
you.
product feedback. Yeah.
Yeah, they are your soldiers. Right?
So they're your bosses. Like you have to really serve them and just be willing to do a lot for really nothing for a while and to
Be real.
for a while.
Yeah, and like really something that I will start this week is to send maybe it is a spam, right? I know Mario, you hate this
But the
50.
reason why people send it is because it works. Yeah, people wouldn't send it if it didn't work.
Yeah, exactly. I want just to sell services, software services. And my idea is just to send 50 messages per day using mail merge software. So I think around 50 messages, just saying, hey, I am Rene. I just really the spam way, spammy. And
What are you gonna target?
just marketing, agencies that focus on e-commerce, talking about
Amazon
Amazon,
seller
Amazon sellers or
API,
sellers.
I could tell them about, I don't know, if their sellers definitely like to automate their documentation process, stuff like that.
Yeah, I want to sell API services, Amazon, how to handle the API and that type of stuff. I can show them software that I build. But the idea is that I would put that as a new experiment, right? You're sending 50 emails per day for a month. I will see what is my response rate.
Yeah.
If I get 2 or 3 responses every 1,000 emails, I think that's fine. That is fine. If I can get a couple of meetings, I think that's fine too. But I think
And then
that's
it depends a lot on the customization of the emails that you're sending out too.
yeah,
Like the content of what you're sending out. Found that really short emails, at least for me, they worked very well. And I would do just a bit of customization and then it would work.
yeah,
I can also
but
agree on that.
yeah,
That people do not like to read long messages, especially if it's the first outreach. So I tried I saw some opportunities and I was like, yeah, just let me explain a bit about what I want to achieve with this. The longer I go with the text, the less response I get. So maybe the goal is to get just attention, curiosity. If you responded once, then there is a chance. And yeah, people do not like to read like long messages. The same for LinkedIn posts, I guess.
I see that as another source of leads. I don't want to put that aside. I want to say that, hey, I want to forget about that approach. So I want just to test it, and experiment with that and see the results. Like just prefer that because another way is using Fiverr, but Fiverr is, I only get cheap customers there, and
Mm.
I don't like that. So I prefer having like good customers, even if I have to find them using spammy approaches like cold emails.
Maybe then the goal is also to add to that message. What I, for example, did is to add some context which like distinguishes the clients, like from the cheap clients and the good clients, because maybe cheap clients will say, oh, that's too complicated for me. But if a good client sees that there is really something behind this message, for example, I went that approach that when I reached out to agencies, made very clear that I want to be my own boss. Like I work on my own, I've organized myself and everything. Maybe I got a response rate of 20% or something, but then I got people I would rather work with, like others who just tell me what to do.
I'm just sending a message here that like the template that I used. I put together this email. To me, people might disagree, but to me, I felt like this was the perfect email. Like I got a lot of responses for it. I had to
Cool.
customize it a bit, but because it was very simple, I was able to do that with ChatGPT, like in bulk. So basically, what I'm
Right.
saying is, and the first sentence is always the same. This is who I am. I'm this, and this is what we do. Very easy, simple. By the way, this is not what I offer anymore. This is a really old email. And then the second paragraph,
Then you tell the why, right?
yeah. So the
Second
second
paragraph is
paragraph,
you tell the why.
and it's also very personalized. This is where AI comes in. I see you are the president, and I got all this information from LinkedIn. So AI, I just gave it like a few columns of info, and I said, take those columns, put together something that notes like says, I see you are the president of this that does this. Feel free to say no if you don't see a fit. So I'm giving them an out. Might I be of help to you? So it's very non-threatening. It's very
Mm.
for them to get out. You would be amazed how many responses I got. Even people
And
who weren't interested, they would tell me just out of respect because they felt like it was a real email. They would tell me, "Hey, thank you for taking the time." So many people would write me back saying thank you for the personal email because they felt like they were so sure that it wasn't AI. Anyways, that's it. This is my magic
uh,
email. Honestly, feel free to.
and how much is compared to if you are interested or something, if you agree or if you see a synergy, if you see an opportunity,
Um,
why
I mean,
why
all I can
mentioning
tell
the
you is
word
that I
no?
use this and I got real responses. Like I got calls booked with it. Like it, and I felt like it was noticeable. Again, like a person have to experiment, but I can say that this worked for me, and I put a lot of real emails towards validating that. So I can. That's all I can really say. It just in terms of that, I would say it's worth. This is validated, 100%.
Maybe the difference it makes that people are afraid to say no. They rather ghost you, and you say no within your email.
Yeah, I'm
So
like,
maybe
feel
that
free, you
makes a
can say
difference.
no. I'm like, but might it be a fit? And I'm leaving it open ended. Renee, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, that I like that part, the no part, the last part that says, "Feel free to say no," right?
Yeah, and it's just
Because,
really
yeah,
easy for them to read. It's not long. It gets them all the information they really need. That's something that if I were gonna start sending out emails again today, that's probably the email I would send. And I have a lot of people who responded to me with that email. So it would always
yeah,
give me some like crazy ass email. It's like salutations, hello, top of the morning to you. Thank you for reading my email. I am respectfully asking for your time, or some crazy approach like that. And if I put this email to ChatGPT, it would tell me like, "Nah, that's a crap email. You can't send that to people." Like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna make it better for you. But then if I took what it sent me, that would not get responses. But this, even though the ChatGPT, it doesn't see it, but there's something human about it.
I had exactly the same feeling about it because I had prepared a message, that I put it into, or even Claude, and both gave
Yeah.
me
It's like, let me
like a
sanitize it.
version. I was like, no, thank you.
Yeah,
That's not an I would write, and
it
that's
sanitizes it.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And it completely takes away it's I think now more than ever, it's not bad to be imperfect because it shows that you're human, right? That's a giveaway that you are a person. So,
Absolutely.
even a small thing, like you might even notice in that email that I just showed you guys, like I put like an extra space between the last ellipsis dot and the might, just because the AI wouldn't do that.
yeah.
Just even just anything to make it look human. This is where we're at now. This is where society has evolved. These types of strategies. Feel free to give it a shot. I think it works. You can see how it compares for you guys.
I will do something similar, like for software services. It's just an experiment, right? That's
Exactly.
it.
It's just an experiment. Just a numbers game. And at least you have something. I think it's good to have at least give this a shot too, because like I said, it actually did work with real emails. So at least I think it's something that has some success in it that you can work backwards from and at least build the confidence from that. Because that was what worried me when I was first sending out emails. Was like, I have no idea what the heck to send. I didn't know at all what was like a type of email that somebody would respond to. So now I know that generally that kind of works. Like the template I just showed you guys. So yeah, it might save you some money.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. You guys
Yeah,
are welcome. Thank you
yeah,
guys very much for your time. I really enjoyed the Friday call.
Will this recording be available? Because I would
Yeah,
love
yeah.
to share a part of it,
Yeah,
if
of
that's
course.
okay for you guys.
Yeah, yeah. I'll do the subtitles and all that stuff to it as well.
Amazing. Or I don't know if it makes sense, but I don't want to put too much work for you. Of course, I can just put what is it, time marker, and then it starts from there. One was the Chrome thing, and the other one was talking about marketing strategies, but no worries. One
Right.
video will do it as well.
Yeah, exactly. Cool.
Mhm.
I'll put that together and yeah, that's it. Thank you guys. I'm feel free obviously to share
Thank
where
you as well.
yeah. Thank you, Mario. Thank you, Renee. I'll see you guys. Talk to you
See
soon.
you guys. Bye
Bye.
bye.